When studying early Mormon church history, you will find far more comparisons to Hogwarts than to the Corporation of the President of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints today. Joseph Smith and his family believed heavily in the magic worldview. To name just a few things, they believed in seer stones, divining rods, magic spirits or treasure guardians, buried treasure, spells, enchantments, astrological practices, and talismans. The Smith family owned at least 3 different magic parchments, sort of like the Marauders map. Anyway, one of them was called the Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah parchment, because of the word being written out 3 times on the top. The purpose of this parchment was to protect its owner from evil. The center of the parchment has a magical seal surrounded by scripture from Numbers 6:24 through 26, while the bottom right has the symbol for the demon Jubenlatus. The second parchment is called the Holiness to the Lord parchment, because of that phrase appearing on each side. The purpose of this parchment was to procure a visitation from a supernatural being. Interestingly, Mormon temples also have the inscription Holiness to the Lord on them, perhaps to help encourage supernatural visits. The final parchment owned by the Smiths is the St. Peter Bind Them parchment. The purpose of this parchment is to protect the owner from supernatural beings. Note the words in the upper right. The center bottom symbol is the symbol of a demon spirit called Palipa, flanked on either side by what appear to be 2 seals of the earth. The other side of the parchment bears a symbol for Nalga, an angel of ceremonial magic. An additional relic owned by the Smiths is the Mars dagger. Toward the hilt, its blade was inscribed with Scorpio's astrological symbol, and with the magic symbol for the intelligence of Mars. Its handle was inscribed with the magic seal of Mars. Astrologically, Mars was the ruling planet for Joseph Smith Sr.'s birth year, and this dagger was among Hiram Smith's possessions in 1844. Another occultic relic is Joseph Smith's Jupiter talisman. In 1937, the Improvement Era printed a letter from Charles Bideman, reporting that he was in possession of many of Joseph Smith's papers, which later proved to be authentic. He also reported having a silver pocket piece which was in the prophet's pocket at the time of his assassination. And according to Emma Smith, it was among his most intimate possessions. The purpose of such a talisman was to help the owner have influence over others, become rich and powerful, and find peace. One could argue that Joseph eventually got all of those things after he was martyred. The inscription of the talisman comes from a book called the Magus, which is a magic book published by Francis Barrett, and it was published in 1801. And according to subsequent owners of the talisman, Joseph was indeed in possession of this talisman when he was killed in Carthage, Illinois. In many ways, the Mormon Church was born from a very magic worldview.